Hi friends, I've got a bit of a different video for you today. I've received my Komo Mio grain mill and I'm so excited to get started freshly grounding my own grains. I've been researching a lot recently about the health benefits of freshly ground flour, and I was wondering if my boys might be able to eat bread made with freshly milled flour, so we decided to buy a mill and give it a go, and in any case we're pretty sure that it's going to help to improve the health of our family in general, so we're really excited to get started on this. And I thought I would show you, as I unboxed it today, show you how it's set up and maybe give it a spin for the first time. So we've got some instructions here. They all appear to be in German, so I might have to do some research. Let's see. Yes, they're in German. I don't speak German. So here we've got the lid. It's a plastic lid. Put it on the floor to get it out. So, from what I understand, the grain is going to go in here. In order to change the coarseness of the grain, you turn this way for finer grain and this way for coarser grain, and then the flour will come out of here into a bowl that you'll need to put there, and the lid goes on here when it's not in use. Okay, so I wanted to show you what it looked like inside, although having read the instructions, I found some in English on the internet, apparently you don't need to clean it unless you realise that there's been something smeared on it, so if you've tried to mill grains that are not quite dry enough. But let's have a look and see what it looks like inside. So to remove the hopper, you turn it towards the coarsest setting and then you keep turning it until the hopper comes off. So this is the upper millstone, I think it's granite, and the lower millstone is here, and they will grind together to mill the flour. As I said before, you wouldn't normally need to remove this because you don't need to clean it unless there's a problem, unless there is some residue in between the millstones. So this is the exciting bit. I'm going to plug it in and give it a go with some rice, just to clean out the millstones and see how well it works. So first things first, put a bowl under there to catch the grain. Take the lid off. You need to turn it on. Move this until the stones start to make a noise together. Move it back so that they're not making any noise. And I'm just going to start with a cup of rice. I'm going to do one more cup of rice just to make sure that it's really well cleaned. So I turn it on before I put the rice in there. I don't know if you can tell here, but the rice flour is fine. It feels beautiful actually. So the next step is to grind some wheat. I'm now going to be milling some wheat because I need to feed my starter. I've got lots of things planned that I want to make tomorrow. So I want to mill some wheat for my starter right now. And this is just some wheat that I bought from an online organic shop that we have here in France. It's a real learning process. I have no idea how to get hold of wheat berries here in France. Doesn't seem to be readily available. I can't seem to find any farmers that sell it directly, except for chicken food. So that's going to be something else that I need to look into. But for now, I've got organic wheat berries. I'm not sure where they've come from exactly, but Europe in any case. And I think France probably. I'd rather know that it was local. We have lots of wheat farmers around here, so it should be possible to find wheat locally. So I still need to do lots of research in that. Anyway, let's see how this wheat flour turns out. This flour seems to be quite coarse, so I need to see if I can make it any finer. Maybe I can take it a little bit finer, but like I said, it's a learning process, so the first time won't necessarily be a success. To feed my starter, I'm going to put in the little bit of leftover starter that I had from yesterday. This is going to give it a really good feed because there's only a small amount of starter there, but you'll see that even that small amount of starter will work through all of this flour and the water that I'm going to add. So I'm going to measure out, I don't know how much flour I put in there, so I'm going to measure it out now. That's 114 grams. So I'm going to add the same amount of water. And give that a good stir. Now I do want to make some muffins for the children's snack for when they get home from school, and I'm going to be using Einkorn because I know that the gluten content in this is lower, so I think that they might be able to digest it better to start off with. Now ideally I would be doing sourdough muffins and leaving it in the fridge to ferment for several hours, but I'm just too excited to make something with my grain mill, so I'm just going to go ahead and make these Einkorn muffins. Here you can really see the difference between Einkorn grains, which are longer and thinner, and wheat grains or wheat berries, which are much rounder and more plump. I did manage to get this flour softer, and you can really tell the difference. That's so fluffy and soft, it looks just amazing, and it smells good too. For this muffin recipe, I followed the recipe over on breadbeckers.com. You can go and have a look at their website. They have loads of great information about freshly milled flour and recipes. Now, I have to say it wasn't a huge success. I think I might have forgotten the egg, which would explain part of it. Also, it was just quite a wet dough, and that might also be because einkorn tends to absorb less liquid than wheat does. So I need to keep working on this recipe and find out how to make it nice and moist but not too soggy. They still ended up tasting really good, and we ate them all with pleasure, and my boys were so happy to be eating muffins again. I'm going to use these muffin liners, which I find practical because I think we'll go to the park after school, so it'll be good for the kids to be able to grab a muffin in the park. Thank you for following along with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave me a comment below. Have you tried freshly milled flour before? Has it been a success? Does your family like it? I'd love to know your experience. I'll see you next time. Bye.